Malachi, you are a two-sport athlete. Some human beings are only blessed with one sport. You play two sports at an extremely high level, whether it be basketball or football. Take us into your journey and when it first began.
Oh man, a lot of the journey actually started exactly where we're having this interview today, in my local neighborhood right now, Orange Park. Yeah, I just grew up ripping and running around here. Jumping over a lot of these obstacles is definitely what made me who I am today, for sure.
Now, at the high school level, take us into high school, Riverview. Then you decide to go into Venice. There's a state championship. The history is cemented, but take us into that part of the story.
High school, of course, went to Riverview High School, freshman through my junior year. Had definitely a very successful time, basketball and football, 1,000-point scorer there at Riverview. But on the football aspect, I kind of wanted to prove a little bit more on the football field. I think we finished up good always. With football seasons, I definitely was a part of some really strong and good teams, and I was able to get coached by an NFL player, Todd Johnson. While I was at Riverview, so that was definitely a prominent experience. But to go and be able to go for 1,000 yards my senior year after not even going for 1,000 yards my whole time at Riverview, is proof in the pudding as far as the opportunity that I got when I did go to Venice High School, for my senior year for football. That was definitely a humbling and a nice experience for me, to say the least.
Venice is one of those atmospheres, they use the term, it's different here. But when you look around, you see the stadium, you see the environment, and even on Friday nights, their game day experience is phenomenal. Take us into Venice and what that looks like.
Oh man, that's just the culture, At Venice, is working hard, playing hard, like doing stuff the right way. A lot of that stuff goes, the long way. Even though it sounds cliche, of course, but man, hard work pays off. Working hard for the things that you want, day by day, consistently, is only going to bring you progress, and that progress is going to bring you results.
Southeastern Conference, UT Vols. I see the checkers on your hat. I see the letterman. But take us through the recruiting process, 4-star, and a lot of people wanted your services.
Oh man, the recruitment process could definitely be a tricky one. Everybody's going to tell you all the things you want to hear, of course. It's more importantly to find out who you think you might connect with the most as far as the coaching staff, as far as the culture, because every school kind of has a different culture. Some are similar, some are more different, but it's definitely about connecting and trying to find your true home, man. Because when they drop you off, that's when you're going to understand exactly what type of position you're in, because, hey, man, you're no longer a recruit, so they don't blow as much smoke, up your what to make you feel like you're as much needed. But the recruitment process was fun. Got to travel around the country, got to meet a lot of head coaches and got to spend a days on end with them, and that was definitely a cool experience.
The Kentucky game, you get open, or you make yourself open, and you get your first reception. Take us back to UT Vols football.
Man, UT Vols football. Shout out to Coach Jeremy Pruitt. That was the head coach at the time that was recruiting me, and T. Martin as well. But as far as when I was back at University of Tennessee, man, we had the #1 recruiting class of 2020. Jalen Hyde, pretty much one of my roommates. He was the guy that was there. Blitnikoff winner recently. So it was just a lot of people. Alante Taylor, the list goes on and on. Trey Smith, just a lot of dogs, a lot of people who knew that they were going to play at that next level. So to surround yourself with people where you're trying to go is definitely everything.
The SEC, is that the best college football in America?
At times, I think it's fair to say that every now and then there's teams outside of the conference that hone in and, buy into everything that their coach and their program's trying to do. But day in, day out, SEC is definitely the most Oh man, it's everybody considers the SEC as the I want to say heavyweight in a way, because SEC, the linemen know that, man, you gotta really have your size up. Like sometimes people don't even get to play just because they're not heavy enough or they're not big enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people like to think that size doesn't matter, but in the SEC it kind of does. It kind of does.
HBCU football, the I love, the Jackson State University, the SWAC. Take us into that experience.
Going to Jackson State and being recruited by Dion was definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity that at the end of the day, I couldn't pass up. To be able to be coached by an NFL Hall of Famer, Deion Sanders, is definitely something that you don't take lightly, because not only the connections but everything that comes along with having a guy who's been everywhere and done a lot of what arguably one of the greatest football players of all time, of course, and to be able to learn and soak up any type of wisdom or knowledge from him, get insight on what's to become possibly for me in the future, and all that good stuff is everything, along with also getting the chance to go to a historically black college after leaving a PWI, a predominantly white institute. It's just different, man. It's different. Being able to be around a whole lot of more brothers and sisters, and a diverse crowd is definitely something that's powerful. Because 50,000 and Neyland isn't the same as 50,000, in Jackson State.
Saturdays in the SWAC, the game day experience. You just alluded to it. The barbecue, the tailgate, the beautiful women, the step shows, the alumni, just everybody. How beautiful is that? Even though you guys are locked in and you're kind of really in the business mode concept, when you're just really just focusing on a football game.
Even though that we knew that, like, it was always business and business trips, man. I think Coach Prime did a good job in letting us know that, like, hey, man, you only sometimes get to go through this once. It'll pass. It's going to go by faster than what it felt like it was. So he let us, soak in the environment and soak in, the experience a lot of times by letting us know, hey, these people came to see us today. Like when we used to pack out the stadiums every game he let us know, like, hey, people are coming to see us do great things. So to soak that in and embrace the crowd, only motivated us even more to go out there and, try to perform.
Now, you also played basketball for Jackson State. I had the opportunity to cover you guys against FAM. What was it like to play basketball in the SWAC?
It was definitely an interesting, experience, because coming off of football so kind of late to basketball, because we ended up going to the Celebration Bowl. That kind of made it hard for me. I had to really like buy into on my off time, even when I was tired after football practices and stuff, to try to go get a little bit more film room with the basketball team, so that there wasn't that big gap in some of those guys having the advantage over me of being like just prepared to play. So time management in college is the biggest thing that I could say as far as any type of athlete goes, and especially when you're a two-sport athlete, man. You have to really put your time towards what's most important to you, for sure.
The Celebration Bowl, you went there a couple times. You earned a couple SWAC titles. What was it like to be a part of a team that gets to the top of the mountain, so to speak, and plays for a national championship?
It's an amazing feeling. Anytime you have a chance to try to play for, a national championship and play in front of, like, national television, to, put on for your family with your, your last name on the back of the jersey. That's something that's something that I would never take lightly. I don't know how other people feel. At the end of the day, I can only speak for myself, but I definitely took that, strongly. That's why every time I played out there, I played it like it was my last, because, you never know when your last down is going to be in this game, so you have to really have a lot of respect for this game too, because I know how far it could take me, and I know what it's already done for me.
Professional football, you decide to move forward from the intercollegiate experience and kind of look and see what's out there. A lot of people want to play on Sundays, but just take us into some of those opportunities and what the draft process and what that looks like.
A big thing for me, moving next was to, of course, everybody has their own opinions on how people should go through, this walk of life. I know that one day I'll definitely be able to, finish and continue to get my degree because I'm only like, a semester or two out from it. But I made that decision solely for my family. A lot of people don't understand my family dynamics and, what I sacrifice weekly and daily to, do to provide for my family. And that was a big decision in, me kind of leaving college early is the opportunity to change my family's dynamics sooner.
There are pro football organizations, different places, whether it be CFL, NFL, XFL, Arena, so on and so forth. Take us into some of the opportunities you want to look into.
Definitely the XFL first, probably. Shout out to The Rock. But yeah, playing for Hines Ward, a Georgia Bulldog, great. He's definitely somebody who I would never mind playing for. He's also a legend, in his own way. Just to be able to have another opportunity to play professional ball when I know that, for a while that was a dream for me, so slowly seeing my dreams unveil is,